Welcome back to the Daniel Thomas Show. Tom,
Dan,
you got a good one for us today? What do you got?
I do. So I understand things in your personal life are going well.
Yes.
And so, as you know, I read Psychology Today and a few of these other places. So
I've never held that against you.
I know.
And I think you read the Bible too, and I've never held that against you either.
That is true.
Okay.
So, you can tell whose side you need to be on, but we cover both sides.
Yes.
So we're an equal opportunist. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about that has come up in a number of articles is communication. So one of the big issues that seems to be a trending theme is honest and open communication seems to be a key to successful relationships.
Absolutely.
And so I know things are going well for you. I just figured, thoughts? What do you know?
You know what? I'll tell you, one thing that has been lacking with a lot of women that I've dated since my late girlfriend passed away
Right.
a little over a year and a half ago was the communication. And people that couldn't communicate and people that have been married multiple times, and you'd think that they would have it down by the time they get to our age in their 50s, because I like women my own age. I don't like younger women. I don't, I like women within my age group. And
Sure.
The woman I'm dating now, it's great because we both were at a point when we were like, I'm not going to date. I'm not going to date. I'm just going to wait. If I meet somebody, I meet somebody.
Right.
And then a friend of mine from high school, of all places,
Yes.
introduced
Mm-hmm.
me to this woman. And she's great. But communication has been perfect, been fantastic. And, we'll get together and walk and talk for hours at times, which, again, it's not the sales pitch. It's the, working on stuff and, what is important, to her and to me and, everything else.
Right. No, and I think that's something that, for those of you watching, that you need to understand. He hit on a very key point. They can walk and talk for hours. They're not trying to impress each other. They're not spending any money. Let's talk about spending money. So we just had lunch.
Okay. You know what? Hey, Tom, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Pick up some sandwiches
Sure.
before we shoot, and I'll give you a little cash, okay? And then he goes and picks up sandwiches, and I said, let me guess how much this was. $30 for 2 sandwiches, chips, and 2 drinks.
He was off by $15.
40, was it
46 something?
$46,
Yeah.
$16. It's almost $50. Probably tipped him too, so it was over $50
Right.
to have lunch today.
For sandwiches.
For sandwiches. How
So
do you guys date? How do you
Yeah.
do this? And how do you go out? Because the one thing that I do, it's like when I work a lot and if I'm at the house and people
Yep.
want to come meet me, hey, you need me to bring anything? Yeah, bring
Sure.
this over and I'll give you cash for it. And I just don't want people to be strapped. But I don't know how people eat and drink. And here's the thing: all these women that are like, don't do coffee dates. It's got to be a nice dinner. I am telling you, I don't know if I want to spend time with you. And it's funny, since it's like stepped up a notch with the latest girl I'm dating. I've had 4 of the last women reach out lately. It was like, oh, come on. Tom's telling them, hey, you
Right.
should reach out to Dan. I ran into Dan. You should text him. No, out of the blue. And I'm like, this is weird. 2, 3. And, so it's kind of weird that when it rains, it pours,
Absolutely. But I guess our point here is, if she's not willing to do the coffee date, she's not willing to just meet for, a beverage and keep it simple, don't. At that point in time, you don't need to go any further.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The expectations are already so far beyond what you're going to be able to maintain in that relationship.
Oh, you guys are
Stop.
losers.
Yeah.
You can't afford. No, I can afford anything I want. That's the difference. And seriously, and it's not the point, but the point is time.
Right.
Time, like with my buddy, I don't get enough of that.
Yeah.
So I love doing this. And, time, what's your time worth? That's what I always try to tell people. It's like the people that buy these electric cars and spend their time charging. And the greatest TikToks that I've been sent lately is this one woman who, whenever she fills up near a charging station, She films the charging station. Like she'll walk into the market, see the people out there, come out after shopping, and she'll show the clock, and it'll be like 52 minutes, and the people will still be there. And then she'll go to the gas station, fill up, and it was my favorite one was 1 minute 52 seconds, to fill up with gas. Bye. What's your time worth? What's your time worth?
Yeah, and imagine being on a trip and you got the whole family sitting because you've got to wait for that charger to give you 85%.
What's funny is I have a friend of mine who's a business colleague who his company's going public, and I've told you about this. And the cool thing is that I got to get under the hood to see how this really happens. Okay, and they have a property that they just bought in Salt Lake City, in Utah, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. If you ever need me out there, well, I could drive tomorrow. I could fly. I could drive, but I just would get gas along the way. All this stuff with these the cars and the EV cars, it's a disaster. How about this stat for you? 42% of the people that bought EV cars this year said that they regret that, and now they'll go back to gasoline-powered cars. That's a stellar recommendation.
Well, and I think we're going to see the number of EV manufacturers that are going bankrupt right now, as well as the number of major manufacturers saying we're pulling back from our EV programs because without the government incentives and the state incentives, it doesn't make sense.
This is why the solar companies are going up. Titan Solar just went down. They'd have done over 100,000 installations. I want you to understand, 100,000 customers for your product. You would never need to ever advertise again. You would just advertise to those 100,000 people, and you could basically do 20% more business a year with that kind of construction company to where they would be set. They can't do it. The incentives were the thing that killed it. And people go out and they buy solar. Anyways, but again, it's all about the money. It's all about the time and communication. I think that's what we started with.
We're going to talk about communicating, and the fact is your time and communicating with somebody you're interested in is worth more than a cup of coffee. It's worth more than a $46 bag of lunch. But
oh my God.
Don't spend the time and energy if they're not willing to have coffee with you. Your time's way too valuable.
Right. And I also, that's the thing. It's like all these women, if they're not texting extensively, or we're not talking to the phone, and you're not getting the gist of it. We've had so many people send us stuff where the guy, let's pick this restaurant. It's right up the street from my house, and he sets a 6:30 reservation time, and at 5 minutes to 7, she texts him, "Oh yeah, I'm driving in. Traffic's really bad." He goes, "Traffic? You said you live down the street."
Right.
"Oh, I could walk there." And well, I had to go stay at a friend's house recently because my roommate's crazy and la 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 la. So she strolls in at 7:15, 45 minutes late on the telephone, and crazy, guys, absolutely crazy dealing with this. And then communication, lie after lie after lie. I used to live really close by to here. Oh, I'm sorry, he's going through the text messages saying, "Yeah, you lived across the street." So, anyways, it's nuts.
Send us your letters, your comments, your ideas. Danielthomasshow at yahoo.com. Like, subscribe. Leave us comments at the bottom.
How's your communication? Is it good? Is it bad? Do you think you have a problem with communicating? I'm telling you, go and get yourself into groups where you can meet people and talk to people and socialize with an interest that you know something about. And I'm telling you, one of the greatest things ever here in Orange County was there was a guy and a man and a woman that met each other, and they met each other through fly fishing. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, in Orange County.
Yeah, and then they started his and her fly fishing business, and that was how they connected and dated and got married and everything like that. So anyways, I mean, there's something for everybody. But if you're not good talking to women, if you have no social skills and you're a bumbling idiot and you get nervous, which is okay. Everybody gets nervous at different times in their lives. Tom and I were just thrown to the wolves as kids and had to communicate. Okay. Like, subscribe, email us, okay? And the comments. We love the comments.
And keep the comments coming. So thank you all. And remember, don't stop communicating.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think? Was that a great episode?
Did you see the last episode? Really? This one? I don't know.